Get out the orange and blue, Broncos country. It's time for training camp.
I'm Brian Sanders, live out at Dove Valley, where Broncos fans have been camped out overnight in anticipation of training camp day one. Coming up, I'll tell you what you need to know if you want to see Russell Wilson and company in action.
It's the calm after the storm across the metro. Streets flooded in Broomfield, and our Denver 7 book drive tent almost blows away with strong winds in Aurora.
Yeah, it's going to be a lot calmer out here this morning at training camp. Great news for all those fans that are already lining up to get in. The gates open at 9 o'clock. I'll show you when our thunderstorms could return, though, today, coming up.
Get ready to pay more to borrow money. The Federal Reserve is expected to announce another rate hike, but some good news, some costs are going down. And from mega millions to a mega billion, the jackpot climbing again after no big winner last night. None of us won. That's why we're all at work this morning, of course. But it is a great morning to be in Denver. Jason and I are here in studio. Thanks for staying with us. I'm Nicole Brady, and it's Broncos training camp day.
Hey, it's Christmas morning for Broncos fans, right? Yeah, day one of training camp. Good morning to you. I'm Brian Sanders. Lisa Hidalgo out here with me at Dove Valley. And a handful of fans have been camped out here overnight, ready for the gates to open. Still a couple hours away, but obviously there's a lot of enthusiasm and anticipation with quarterback Russell Wilson and a new head coach coming in for this Broncos team. So we're going to talk about the players to watch and what to know if you're headed out to day one of practice today. It is a much nicer day, a nice morning. Broncos sunrise this morning after some downpour yesterday. Aurora was one of the cities in the metro that got some torrential rain. We saw this video shared on social media showing the buckets at the checkout lines at King Soopers at Iliff and Buckley. Water coming through the ceiling. Not what you want to see when you're grocery shopping. And some of the fans that were camped out here overnight had to brave the rain, Lisa, but obviously a really nice start to this day. And it's going to be pretty comfortable considering our summer temperatures for practice today.
Yeah, but I'm kind of like a walking humidity barometer for you. When my hair looks like this, wet dog look, you know it's humid. It's a little sticky out here still. We are looking at still some damp conditions after the overnight rain, but it is going to be dry through practice this morning. We're looking at temps right now in the 60s. It's a little chilly at times. A lot of our fans that are back here in line have jackets on, an extra layer early on, blankets, but it'll warm up. Take a look at the warm up. Early this morning, we're expecting to be at about 8 o'clock here, right around 70 degrees as they're opening up some of the parking garages, and then 9 o'clock, once they open up that gate, will be in the low to mid 70s, right around 90 for a high today in Denver. But we're not going to hit that until after training camp. And the storms, those won't hit until after training camp too, which is going to be nice timing wise. So near 90 today. It's going to be a lot cooler tomorrow. We're going to take a closer look at that coming up here in a few minutes. Plus, we're going to talk to some of these crazy fans in line. Some of them here since late last night, Jason, some coming in early this morning. That line's going to get pretty long here, I think, pretty soon.
Always better to look like a wet dog rather than smell like a wet dog, Lisa. But you look great. You always look great. Here along Arapahoe Road, just east of I-25, down along Peoria, Potomac, Broncos Parkway. Here's Dove Valley right there. It's easy to get in and out of Dove Valley, and I'm not expecting any problems to get in and out of there today. Take a look at the camera over here at Bowles and C470. You can see the crash, left lane. They bring out the rescue squad. Somebody's over there. Traffic, even though it isn't down to just one lane, it is moving through there without a delay. So not worth an alternate route if you're coming down from, let's say, Morrison to try to get down to Ken Carroll or over to Highlands Ranch. No delays there. No delays in the Denver Tech Center, and just starting to see traffic build up in some of these usual spots like 270 and I-76 trying to get into I-25.
Well, some of the fans didn't take any chances with traffic. They started lining up last night for training camp. Brian, a lot of excitement in the air out there.
Yeah, we expect the line to grow here pretty quickly as the morning gets on. The gates to the parking lot here at Dove Valley open at 8 a.m. The gates to the field open at 9 a.m. and then practice will get underway at 10 a.m. But so much enthusiasm for this Broncos team. Obviously, the fans are ready to get back in the playoffs after a 6-year drought. We've got our new face of the team in quarterback Russell Wilson and a new head coaching staff. But this is where it all begins. This is where the players put in the hard work in these hot summer days. They start to develop that team chemistry, the team leadership, and they want to practice in front of the fans, because that's what keeps them going through these tough days. So if you are headed out to one of 14 practices that are open to the public, 13 will be out here at the UC Health Training Center, and then 1 will be at Empower Field at Mile High, and 1 will be a joint practice with the Dallas Cowboys ahead of their opening preseason game. Again, most of the practices start at 10 a.m. The one with the Cowboys will start at 11 a.m. Some things you need to know. It is free to come out here, but the seating is limited, so you'll want to come early if you want a good spot. Most of the seating is on a grassy berm, and there is not a lot of shade, so especially on these hot days, dress appropriately. Maybe bring some sunscreen. If there's rain in the forecast, there are no umbrellas allowed in the practice facility, and no chairs, so bring a blanket to sit on. If you have a bag, it has to be a clear plastic bag or a kind of like a clutch purse size or a 1-gallon Ziploc bag to carry your belongings. Obviously, you can bring your cell phone, you can bring binoculars, you can bring still cameras, but video cameras are not allowed. But you can find all the rules on the Broncos website. So again, Broncos are trying to break 2 streaks this year. They have had 5 seasons with a losing record, 6 seasons without a playoff appearance dating back to that Super Bowl win. So will quarterback Russell Wilson be the key missing piece? Our Denver 7 Broncos insider Troy Rink takes a look at some of the key players to watch on the field this year.
After months of hype and optimism, Broncos training camp opens today. It's going to be a full berm of fans excited to see this team get back to the playoffs for the first time since Super Bowl 50. So who are some of the players to watch? Let's start with the obvious one, quarterback Russell Wilson. Do you realize over the last 5 years, he has 71 more touchdowns than the Broncos' 11 starting quarterbacks since Peyton Manning retired? So an upgrade? Yeah, I would say that. He's a 9-time Pro Bowler. He is a leader in every way. And you know who he can make better? Keep an eye on number 10, Jerry Jeudy. This is a crossroads season for Jeudy. Last year, he had 0 touchdowns in 10 games. He had 3 red zone targets. There's no way that happens again. I believe Jeudy can lead this team in receiving yards, with Cortland Sutton leading in touchdowns. So keep an eye on Jeudy, especially early in camp. And what about defensively? Lost in the Russell Wilson acquisition is the fact the Broncos signed one of the elite run stuffers in the NFL, DJ Jones. This guy can really stuff the pile in the middle. He can also get upfield with a pass rush for a big guy. Jones has a gregarious personality. His dad runs a rib shop, essentially. He might even have a food truck out there. So if you see that, definitely go. The food will be great. Quickly, you will not see Randy Gregory. He will start on the PUP list. That's physically unable to perform. They are still hopeful he'll be ready for the regular season. He will be joined on the PUP by right tackle Billy Turner and receiver KJ Hamler. But keep an eye on Wilson, Jeudy, and also DJ Jones. For Denver 7, I'm Troy Rink.
Yeah, and if you want to see Russell Wilson and company in action, the single game tickets go on sale next Tuesday at 10 a.m., August 2nd, so be ready for that. The team announced that some half-price tickets will also be on sale. 2,000 tickets will be available for each individual home game. There are 8 home games for this season. The tickets will be limited to 4 per household, and we know that they will go fast, so just have everything that you need handy and ready to go. Nicole, back here at training camp, bring out your jersey or some of your fan memorabilia. There will be autograph sessions after each practice, and we're going to talk about some of the crazier Broncos gear that's available this year coming up.
Yeah, I need something a little better than just orange. Stay with Denver 7 throughout the day for the latest from Dove Valley. Our Denver 7 sports team will have all the highlights later this afternoon. We've all seen the impact of inflation on everything from grocery store prices to our mortgages. And the Fed will take action again today to try to slow down inflation, but it comes with another rate hike. Denver 7's Jessica Crawford is in studio now. And Jessica, regulators trying to strike a balance and not send us into a recession.
Yeah, and that's something that a lot of people are really concerned about. The International Monetary Fund is expecting slowdowns for the 3 biggest economies in the world. That's China, Europe, and the U.S. Interest rate hikes are a major factor in the slowdown in our country's economy, and today the Federal Reserve is expected to increase rates again by 3/4 of a point. They did the same thing 6 weeks ago. For some context, if you have a credit card balance of about $5,000, today's increase would cost about an extra $280 in interest before it's paid off. The Fed's goal is to slow the economy down by making borrowing more expensive, which should bring down inflation. Right now, people are responding to our economy by spending less money, and major retailers are taking notice. Walmart, Target, and Best Buy all cut their outlooks for this year.
What is occurring right now is that we're seeing the bursting of asset price bubbles. We're seeing the bursting of the stock price bubble, and that's bound to affect sentiment as to whether people buy houses, whether people go out and consume. People will become a lot more conservative in the spending habits.
There are a few positives here, though. Prices for airline travel are dropping. The cost of a round-trip domestic flight is around $300. That's about $100 less than it was back in May. Also, the average gas price in Colorado was $4.90 last month. Currently, the average is $4.54, according to Gas Buddy.
Okay, we'll take any help we can get. Thanks, Jessica. Crews are cleaning up in Wheat Ridge this morning as storms made their way through the metro. Public Works will be out there in Wheat Ridge removing a downed tree that is currently blocking the road at 46th and Newland. And I was out in Aurora yesterday giving out books at Hinckley High School with our Denver 7 team. Two of our morning producers and our main anchor, Shannon Ogden, were trying to hold down the tent while I shot this video. The storms were too strong, though. We had to pull the tent down, and unfortunately we did lose some books that we were giving away, but we're going to have more book giveaways coming up. We got soaked out there. I think we're all still drying off this morning, Lisa. Still a little wet out there on the ground, but it should be a pretty nice morning for training camp.
I saw your video and I heard a high-pitched scream. I'm guessing that was Shannon. I bet it was out there live. Beautiful this morning. You're right. Skies have cleared. Coming up, though, here in a few minutes, I'm going to show you what to expect temperature-wise if you're still getting dressed and heading out to Dove Valley. And I'll show you also just how much cooler it's going to get here, Jason, later this week.
I have some breaking travel news right now, as RTD sent me a service alert saying that shuttle buses are now replacing A-line trains, the one that gets you to or from the airport, due to a power outage is affecting every station from basically 40th and Colorado Boulevard all the way to and from the airport. So all those trains are not running right now. The shuttle buses are in place. We're getting more information from RTD about this power outage affecting the A-line.
Not enough of us are saving for retirement. It may surprise you, actually, who is taking the lead, squirreling away money for their golden years. And getting Broncos fans dressed for success, the official team store will join us after the break with the new looks available this season.